Good night. Sweet dreams. That's what my dad would say to me. But sometimes I had trouble falling asleep. Then he would tell me stories about his travels. I want this tradition to live on. So now, let me share my stories with you. Morning arrives softly in the Pantanal. A pale ray of sunshine finds its way through the glass window beside my bed and stretches across the rumpled sheets like a slow golden tributary. I turn lazily toward it, half awake, and let its warmth touch my face. Outside, two deep red parrots flutter among the branches of a mango tree. They make gentle cooing sounds, hopping from twig to twig like a pair of old friends exchanging the morning news. Their feathers glow crimson in the early light. I rub the last sleep from my eyes and look beyond them. The view splashes me in the face like cold water. From my room, perched on a slight rise at the edge of the fazenda, a traditional Brazilian ranch house and farmstead, the land spreads outward into the vastness of the Brazilian Pantanal. The world seems impossibly wide here. The horizon sits far away, and the sky above it feels even larger. Near the fazenda, the land is bordered by immense gnarled trees whose trunks twist like ancient sculptures. Their heavy branches form the edge of a small jungle island. Palms sway lazily in the morning breeze, and vines loop between the trunks. But beyond that island, the landscape opens. During the dry season, the Pantanal resembles a great savanna dotted with patches of forest and scattered pools of water. From above, it might look like an enormous mosaic. Deep blue ponds glinting between islands of lush green vegetation. A large lake lies not far from the farm. Even from my window, its surface shines cobalt-blue beneath the rising sun. For a moment, I simply lie there, stretching like a starfish across the cool white sheets, soaking in the quiet of the morning. The air, drifting through the cracked window, carries the earthy scent of warm soil and damp vegetation. Eventually, I rise and slide the window fully open. Humid air rolls gently into the room. Almost directly below me, I spot the small family of capybaras I've been watching for days. Amused, I watch them waddle across the slightly parched grass of the farm on their morning stroll. These strange creatures look like giant guinea pigs with long, gangly legs. As the largest living rodents in the world, they are just one of the many record-holding residents of the Pantanal. It is the largest inland wetland on Earth, covering an area half the size of Germany. Thinking of all the other animals roaming the forests and swamps outside my window, I feel the anticipation of the day swelling inside me, too exciting to linger in bed any longer. Cheerfully, I swing my legs out of bed and wash my face. The pleasantly cool water trickles slowly from the tap, forming a small puddle in the sink. At the sight of it, I'm reminded of what this region must look like in the rainy season. Every bit of dry land that shows savanna-like grasses outside my window now will be underwater. The meandering channels of the inland delta will reliably spill over their banks when the rains come. For up to 6 months each year, this area is completely submerged, serving as a vital refuge for countless plants and animals. For this reason, it is protected as a biosphere reserve and a UNESCO World Natural Heritage Site. Numerous documentaries about this unique place, about its flora and fauna, have drawn me into the deep west of Brazil. After years of curiosity, I can hardly believe I'm here. In the dry season, it is far easier to spot wildlife, so I grab my day pack and spray my calves generously with insect repellent. The lemony, spicy scent stings my nose, but it must be done. After all, not just giant otters and jaguars eat around ponds of the Pantanal. The smallest of God's creatures must feed too. Thinking of food, the well-stocked breakfast buffet makes my mouth water. Fresh mangoes, guavas, and avocados are waiting for me when I arrive on the terrace, and they force me to throw one more Tupperware container into my backpack. Breakfast exceeds all expectations once again. The taste of the fresh garden mango lingers on my tongue. Now full and with a perfect dose of energy, I walk along the narrow, well-worn path that leads from the fazenda to the water. A kilometer later, I reach the edge of the cool shade of the forest. I look up at 2 yellow-breasted macaw parrots playfully teasing each other on the gnarled branches of an old mango tree. The brilliant blue of their upper wings shines like the cloudless sky. The bright yellow of their underside glows like the morning sun. And the sun is already rising, becoming mercilessly hot. I step into the jungle with a happy heart. The dense canopy offers perfect protection for my pale skin. The jungle seems unfazed by the sun. On the contrary, the lush, well-nourished vegetation almost completely blocks the light. Trumpet trees, whose blossoms open like bright yellow trumpets, rise along the edge of the trail. The enticing nectar of their flowers has attracted a dazzling visitor. A green and gold hummingbird hovers beside a delicate pastel lilac blossom, its bright red, needle-like beak piercing the flower base to reach the nectar. The bird's elegant dance of bronze, gold-green, shimmering blue, and purplish black is breathtaking. I watch dreamily until it vanishes into the undergrowth. 100 meters later, a soft rustle makes me pause. I scan the thick branches above. Many epiphytes grow there, plants that live on the branches of trees rather than in the soil, using the trunk only as a perch while drawing moisture from rain and the humid forest air. This tree hosts so many of them that it is hard to locate the source of the noise. The trunk and branches are almost invisible beneath the dense green growth. Bright red, feather-like leaves sprout everywhere from the mossy epiphyte. And there I see it. A coati lounges on the thickest branch, sniffing the air just above me. The little raccoon is fearless. Even when our eyes meet, it does not flinch. It remains motionless, as if granting me the privilege of observing it in perfect detail. Its fur is impossibly soft. Its small round ears face me, and its elongated snout trembles slightly as it sniffs. Soon it realizes I am no threat and carefully climbs up the trunk. Only when it completely disappears do I continue. My first close-up view of the cobalt-blue lake is breathtaking. Water lilies bloom along its banks, pastel violet with a backsplash of green. Beyond that stretches the deep blue water. I follow the path along the lake's edge, frequently refreshing my skin with cool lake water. Large flocks of herons stand among the reeds. Their long white bodies reflect against the lake like drifting clouds. From time to time, one of them strikes the water with astonishing speed, emerging with a small fish wriggling in its beak. Watching them is strangely calming. Eventually, I reach the mouth of a small river feeding the lake. There, I glimpse what I think is a family of giant otters, but before I can lift my binoculars, they vanish into the protective reeds. Nearby, a wooden canoe rests in the water while a man takes a fishing break. The idyllic scene tempts me to pause as well. Approaching the bank, I almost leap back in surprise. Several caimans lie motionless in the shallow water. I know these small crocodiles are another record holder of the Pantanal. It has the highest caiman density in the world. They shouldn't surprise me, yet their presence is unnerving. I pay attention as I move further away. As I near the canoe, I watch the man resume fishing, his line tangled in a plant. He wades knee-deep into the water. The caimans seem indifferent. Clearly, his landscape is theirs. That he's unfazed reassures me. I settle down at a respectful distance for my picnic, unpacking the provisions from my backpack. I dip the farofa, roasted cassava flour, into the pirao, a rich yellow porridge of fish stock and vegetables thickened with flour. Even a small portion fills me for hours. Especially with the crunchy farofa, it tastes perfect. Knowing the fish probably came from these very waters makes it taste even better. I savor my picnic, letting each bite linger a little longer than necessary. I keep an eye on the man fishing nearby and a side glance toward the caimans. I'm taken by surprise when I notice him carefully attaching small pieces of meat to his hook, dangling from a simple string tied to an even simpler bamboo rod. When he carefully lifts the first fish from the hook, I understand. He's catching piranhas. The infamous little meat-eating fish, so common in the Pantanal and deeply embedded in the local cuisine. The sight reaffirms that I definitely won't be swimming today. Instead, I take a generous gulp of water, wave to the man with a friendly grin, and start heading back, feeling both relieved and a little exhilarated, like I've just passed a secret wildlife test. And even on the way back, my adventurous spirit is rewarded. At every bend in the path, there's something new, something waiting to make me smile. The late afternoon light transforms the earlier shades of the flora, now painting the world in warmer, softer browns. After the forest, the savanna-like floodplain looks less trampled and dry than before, and more like a carefully curated watercolor. Over one of the luscious spots, a jabiru appears in the distance, preparing to land. The enormous stork glides silently over the landscape, wings cloud-white and magnificent, moving with the calm authority of a creature entirely at home in this world. Its black head and long jet-black beak create a striking contrast with the pure whiteness of its feathers. A narrow coral-colored ring encircles its neck, like a delicate natural necklace. And I can't help but smile at the thought that, even in the animal kingdom, fashion exists in subtle forms. The jabiru, a symbol of the Pantanal, strides gracefully across the grass on its long legs, exuding a peculiar kind of wisdom. I imagine it carries mystical knowledge about this world, knowledge I can only glimpse in fleeting, wonder-struck moments. This image of the bird bathed in warm light stays with me the rest of my walk, a gentle companion to my thoughts. I wish I could meet life's obstacles with the same calm, quiet wisdom I attribute to this elegant creature. Back at the fazenda, the sun is slowly sinking behind the hill. It is already a glowing red fireball, an artist's painting, the entire sky colored with the warmest and richest hues. The small waterhole on the property perfectly mirrors the colors of the sky. And then, as if a band of sugar-loving children had just discovered a secret playground, a flock of hyacinth macaws descends quickly upon the waterhole. Their deafening chatter rolls across the farm, bouncing off trees and the hills, echoing like a raucous wedding party. These macaws are not only the largest parrots in the world, but perhaps the loudest, I think with a chuckle. Only about 5,000 of them remain in South America, and most are here in the Pantanal. Their hyacinth blue feathers catch the sunset with a subtle hint of violet. The bright yellow rings around their eyes add to the astonishing spectacle. I have dreamt for so long of watching these birds in the wild, and here they are, visiting every evening in flocks, playful, majestic, untamed. I can hardly believe my luck. The sun sinks deep red into the horizon, and the hyacinth macaws linger at the waterhole until night falls. I cannot take my eyes off them for some time. By the time I reach the buffet, dinner is already in full swing. I indulge in freshwater fish from the Pantanal and a rich, nutritious bowl of acai fruit puree served with warm cassava sauce. Completely satisfied, I sink into one of the hammocks on the veranda, letting it sway me gently. Now that I have stopped moving, I feel the deep exhaustion of the day settling into my limbs. It is the most pleasant kind of tiredness, a body that has walked, moved, and absorbed the world, soaking up sunlight and sound and motion completely. Occasionally, forest sounds drift toward me, carrying the subtle whisper of the jungle settling down for the night. My eyes become heavy. I shuffle back to my room, barely able to keep them open. I let the cool night air into the sun-heated room. I brush my teeth while gazing at the waterhole, now reflecting the almost full moon as it casts a gentle silver light across the landscape. I drape the mosquito net over the bed, leaving the windows open, letting the symphony of the jungle fill the room. There is the rustle and chirp of small creatures seeking food under the protection of night. There is the buzz of insects and the croaking of frogs, some high in trees, living and dying only within white bromeliads. And somewhere, the paws of silent jaguars and ocelots roam the Pantanal. In my mind's eye, these images blend seamlessly with the experiences of today. Herons arch their long necks gracefully in tribute to the moon. Caimans and piranhas share morsels of fish that fall from hooks. Giant otters frolic with hyacinth macaws in a pool of blood-orange light. A jabiru meets a jaguar in what I imagine as a mystical ritual of the wisest of the Pantanal. And I lie, limbs outstretched, in the white sea of my soft bed. I float gently, utterly relaxed, my breath flowing easily through every part of my body. I let myself drift upon these supportive currents of my imagination, floating toward islands of deep sleep.